Good morning, Virginia. This is Virginia This Morning.
This segment is sponsored by St. Christopher's School.
On June 30th, the St. Christopher's School will host the annual International Boys School Coalition Conference. Now, this great event brings in over 500 educators from all over the world. Here to tell us more about it is Charley Stillwell, the headmaster of St. Christopher's. First of all, congratulations.
Oh, thanks, Bill.
It's a big deal. Let's talk about people coming from all over the world to Richmond. We were talking before we came on the last 2 years. Where has this conference been held?
Well, 2 years ago, the conference was in London, and last year was in Melbourne, Australia.
Wow.
And this year, we're hosting it right here in Richmond.
So that has got to be huge for St. Christopher's to have something of that magnitude come to Richmond and come to your school.
No, it's great. St. Christopher's has been part of the International Boys School Coalition for almost 20 years. And it's a great organization that brings together over 200 boys' schools around the world. And they have an annual conference each summer. And we were just absolutely thrilled when they allowed us to bring that group of teachers and administrators here to Richmond.
The program is called Brother to Brother, Looking In, Reaching Out. Tell us about that. What does that mean?
Well, the conference picks different themes each year to focus on elements of best practices for boys in the classroom. And so we thought to add to that conversation, it would be neat this year for the theme to focus on, one, how important self-awareness is for boys. Two, to focus on the importance of empathy and collaboration, those peer relationships, those very important relationships that boys have with their teachers. But also we wanted to focus on the importance of weaving in meaning and purpose into the educational process. So areas like leadership development and service learning, global connections, and technological savvy.
Speaking of global connections, you've got a group of boys that are coming in that have met online and digitally, but these boys are coming from all over the world and they're going to interact with your kids.
Yeah, it's great. We have started a new initiative this year, which is a student leadership forum that we organize at St. Christopher's, but it brings together 35 boys from around the world. They've been working on a global citizenship curriculum monthly in a virtual setting starting back in October and getting to know each other, and then all these boys will come together and spend a week in real time together here in Richmond.
Got to be life-changing, I would think, and something you would remember the rest of your life. You meet another kid from Germany or wherever.
Absolutely.
And it's going to have a huge impact on them.
Well,
let me ask you a question. It might seem a little insensitive. In 2013, an all-boys school, is that an outdated concept, or is it still relevant at this point?
No, well, there's been a tremendous amount of research on how children learn, what works for girls in the classroom, what works for boys in the classroom. And that research tells us that there's a very important role for schools that are really trying to zero in on the needs of boys, what works for little boys at the elementary level, what works for boys when they're in those awkward middle school years, what helps boys grow into young men of character when they're at the high school level. We feel really proud to, and even with this conference, to step up and be a real global leader in the education of boys.
It really is. It does make a difference. And we've talked to people from girls' schools who said the same thing. It's a very different approach and a very specialized approach, and they have great results.
Yeah. Well, and even in co-ed settings, it's so important to be effective with students of both genders. And one thing that's been great about this particular conference as well is that the Meade Westvaco Foundation, the MWV Foundation, has given us funding to make sure that over 100 educators from the local public systems across Richmond can be part of our conference as well.
So they can learn something from it as well.
Well, we're all trying to help the boys of Richmond be the best that they can be and pulling on that same oar.
Well, you've got lots of experience with that. Thanks for joining us, and good luck with the conference. Folks, the International Boys School Coalition Conference is June 30th through July 3rd. To find out more about this great conference or St. Christopher's School, give them a call, 282-3185. St. Christopher's School is located at 711 St. Christopher's Road in Richmond. You can find them online at stchristopher's.com or on Facebook. It's STCVA. Now let's send it over to you.